It's Madden NFL 22, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Bengals and the Chiefs coming up next.
From one of the loudest venues in the NFL, there's a look at Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. The scene just a few moments ago, predictably loud and raucous here in KC as their beloved Chiefs took the field, and they are set to match up with the Cincinnati Bengals. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. CD, everybody loves to see the deep ball. We know that. We got a couple of quarterbacks here who can really sling it. Joe Burrow of the Bengals, Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs.
I like your point there, partner, because it is back in vogue. And what I mean is taking the shots downfield, because for a long time in this league, it was all about precision passing, the West Coast offense. But now we've got a couple of guys here who'll take some shots downfield, and they have some receivers who can go get it.
Evan McPherson has this one teed up, and we are underway from Kansas City. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Time to see what Patrick Mahomes can do here with his first possession. The quarterback out at Texas Tech getting set to lead this KC Chiefs offense.
And when you think of Patrick Mahomes, you start to think about all of his attributes, and you realize very quickly you can't just put him into one box. No matter how the game proceeds, no matter what is needed, he tends to have an answer for it and plays accordingly.
They go play fake. Mahomes. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Here's 2nd and 10. Looking to throw is Mahomes. That's caught. It's DeMarcus Robinson. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. And they'll look to avoid an early 3 and out here on 3rd and 4. Mahomes now to throw. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for the Bengals TD. It was 3rd down. Defensively, they were just hoping to make a play and get off the field, get their offense on. Instead, they did one better. Pick it off, take it into the end zone.
Well, they did what you said. They got off the field.
They're going to have to come right back on.
They're going to come right back on, but happily, right? They put the ball in the end zone. That's the way you start a game. That's the way you set the tone.
Evan McPherson now for the PAT. And he's got it to make it 7-0 Bengals. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Set to take over, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And looking to erase his memory bank from his opening drive a moment ago that ended in a pick six for the first points of the ball game.
And in my experience, a lot of quarterbacks, after throwing a pick six, the first thing they want to do is fire another one and get those points back immediately. But what really helps you get back in sync is a good, long, methodical drive, mixing the run and the pass, tamp things down a little bit.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now the Georgia Southern man, this is Jerick McKinnon. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
2nd down, McKinnon. He'll only get a couple up to about the 30. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
From the gun on 3rd down, Mahomes. Man open, that's Byron Pringle complete. The 20. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Well, we know that he can beat you in a number of ways. He can catch it short, he can take it long, or he can do what we just saw right there, catch it and then run with the football.
And that should serve as a big warning to this defense. They know now that they have to stick close to these receivers because they have the ability to break games wide open after the catch. And that one wound up in the end zone.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the catch on the next-gen stats. Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. Here come the Bengals, and CD, of course, it's Joe Burrow out of LSU at quarterback.
And when you come into the league as the #1 guy selected, a lot of hype comes with it, and sometimes that weight can be unbearable. But this young man, he took that weight on and handled it as well as you can imagine. And I love his ability to make a second, third reaction play and create downfield.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. The former 2nd-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Here's Burrow. He finds his running back, Mixon. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
I know this may be jumping the gun a little bit, but 7-7, they're flinging it around like crazy. Look at the drive that's going on here. Partner, we may have to start thinking about one of these defenses just holding someone to a field goal and maybe trying to get an advantage that way.
Throwing now, Burrow on 1st down. That's caught by the tight end, Drew Sample. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 48-yard line. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. He's going to sling this deep downfield, and that is incomplete.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen one touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the 1st down marker is here on 3rd. Now Burrow. And he's taken down. Chiefs sack. It was Frank Clark that time who got in there to bring him down. Well, when you time those screen passes perfectly, they can work perfectly, but that time it took a little too long to develop.
And you zeroed in on exactly what makes that play go. Timing. Because if the timing's off at all, those unblocked defenders coming at the quarterback, they'll put him on the deck.
So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. He'll send this one into the Midwestern air, and it's a good one. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there and handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Well, good hands there defensively. It's 2nd down.
Even the greats in this game, and he certainly qualifies as one of them, they're going to have trouble if they continue to throw into double coverage.
He better be careful. Throwing into too much double coverage might have a couple of them picked off. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Mahomes going to throw. That's complete to Robinson. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on 3rd. Now Mahomes. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a 1st down.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a 1st down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Working from the gun, Mahomes. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mahomes forced out to his left. He's got the 1st down here inside the 30. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
Now, those are the ones that hurt defensively. You do everything right. Excellent pressure, good coverage downfield, and then he slips out the back door and turns it into a nice gain.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line.
Not the kind of gain that we'll go absolutely crazy for, but it's the kind of gain that you need to have when you're running back in the NFL. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, with that low center of gravity and strength, he's going to get those tough, gritty yards for you when necessary.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Mahomes. It's Hill, complete. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. Now here's Mahomes. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. There for the sack, B.J. Hill.
Well, it's about teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. So on 4th down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. On the left hash mark, this a 38-yard attempt. Butker's kick here is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their 2nd drive. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Off the play fake, here's Burrow. And that's going to be caught. T. Higgins. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Here we go.
First down. Here's Burrow. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw or maybe the ball's tipped or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. So after the INT, here's Mahomes. Got an open man, it's Pringle. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Defensively, they're going to have to do something about him in a hurry because that last catch puts him over the 100-yard mark. We haven't even hit the second quarter yet.
And you did say they'd have to do it in a hurry. It has to be right now because as his confidence grows, it'll actually overwhelm the defense. No matter what they do, he'll feel like they can't stop him.
From midfield, here's Mahomes. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
That was a nice job defensively of disguising their coverage and making it difficult for the quarterback to lock in on a receiver, and it results in an incomplete pass.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Gets this one to Hill. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35.
No doubt about it. Really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
On 2nd and 9, Mahomes over the middle, complete. That's Robinson. And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He needed 3, he got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. He made his first attempt, this from 45. Butker's kick here is good. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They force the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Joe Burrow trots out again with the rest of his offense. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll hand it off here. This is Mixon. Mixon with a first down and more as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line.
Money in the bank, baby.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Now Joe Mixon. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football as they've got it with a 2nd and 4 coming up. Here's a give to Mixon. And he'll get across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Well, sometimes it's hard to take your eyes off this guy at the linebacker position. He can really cover some ground, and he did there to make that play.
And sometimes all of your best laid plans of play design, your X's and O's, they can't always account for individual effort defensively. And this was one of those times. Just a terrific play to hustle over there and get the running back to the ground.
And his top speed, as computed by Next Gen Stats, not bad. He was pushing 20 miles an hour. Burrow going to fake to Mixon and now look to throw. Airing one out for Boyd. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion. Here's Kevin Huber now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. Out comes Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing while your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point. And this one is incomplete.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
57. Mike, 57.
From the gun, they will run with McKinnon. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. He is going to find Hill here. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. And going deep for Hill. And that's caught inside the 30. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. It's a big play there for the Chiefs.
I think this defense was still trying to recover from that last play, so you wonder if they were ready for this one. You have to imagine their defensive coaches are yelling at them to get focused, because if they don't, more plays like that will result in giving up points.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. To throw, it's Mahomes. He finds Robinson. 7 yards, the pickup there.
That's it, baby. We gon' push.
To throw again on 2nd down. Mahomes. And he's wrapped up. Taken down. Back at the 25. DJ Reader gets him for a loss of 8. What great push up front.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Going to need better protection here. 3rd and long following the sack from Mahomes and company. Back to throw. He'll swing this one out to Edwards-Helaire. And that's not going to get it done. He'll come up well short of the 1st at about the 21. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
So on 4th down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. On the left hash mark, this a 38-yard attempt. Butker's kick here is good. And now it's a 2-score game at 9, 16-7. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
A first carry for Samaje Perine. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
On 3rd down, Burrow. Got an open man, that's C.J. Uzomah. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
I know we can't hear what's going on in that huddle right now, but I'll guarantee you at least one offensive lineman is saying, my bad, we simply couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage. We've got to do a better job trying to root those guys out of there.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Burrow. This is caught. It's Boyd. Well, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 37-yard line. Play action. It's Burrow. That's caught by his tight end, Uzomah. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Now Burrow on 1st down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Morgan. And down inside the 15 he goes. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, and he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
Mixon with a first down carry. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. It was Jaron Reed who got him down.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Second down and 8. Now it's Burrow. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
They're passing here. Joe Burrow looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Another shot from the one on second and goal. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Drew Sample there to make the grab. And the Bengals have got it back to a one-score game.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run, and he finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
McPherson now for the extra point. And it's good. It cuts it to 2. 16-14 our score. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it ends with a Bengals score. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Patrick Mahomes on his way out for their next drive. They've got the lead. He's a big reason why. Looking sharp so far.
And as we travel around the league, we see quarterbacks get it done in a variety of ways. But today's NFL does tell us one thing. If that guy doesn't play well, their team's not going to win. And right now, he's got his team in the lead.
And now they'll look to extend that lead. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Now McKinnon to start the drive. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Tackle made that time by B.J. Hill.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 4. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And I feel like my man, Old Mo, momentum might be changing jerseys right now. How about what they just got done? They scored a touchdown their last drive. Now here's a 3 and out. Maybe momentum's getting ready to creep to the other sideline.
On 4th down, Tommy Townsend to punt for Kansas City. This is taken at the 23. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here?
A pretty rocky start in this game for the guy throwing the ball. Already has thrown one interception. Almost threw a second one right there. All he's doing right now is giving the defense a whole lot of confidence.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. He completes it to Boyd. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Here we go.
Snapped that at 1. Now it's Burrow. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. Gotta say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. And Burrow going to throw again. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit, even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Burrow. Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins. And a high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete. Second quarter action, 1:56 remaining.
Here we go.
A reminder coming up here at halftime. We'll ship you off to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman will have first-half highlights and analysis from a back-and-forth first half that we've seen. And he can only get this to the 42-yard line, and that is not near enough. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. On first down, Mahomes. They try to set up the screen. Oh, nearly disaster. But it's incomplete. Not much chance of that working. Almost intercepted. It's second down. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now here's Mahomes. Got an open man. It's Pringle. And he'll go out of bounds. Looks like right at the 15. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Mahomes now to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
Here's Tommy Townsend now, standing just about on his own goal line. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. Let's take it inside his own 40. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Joe Burrow and the Bengals set to go back on offense. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get them back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and the Chiefs are going to get him. The sack comes from Anthony Hitchens. Boy, that's tough, Charles. First play of the drive, you're hoping to stay ahead of schedule. You take that huge sack, and now you're facing 2nd and a mile.
And the entire time, you were probably thinking the same thing I was. Either get rid of the ball, safely, of course, or go down. The yardage he gave up on that play, that's going to be tough for them to make up.
And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun to give to Mixon. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Here's Kevin Huber now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. .47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. The KC offense and Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the ball back here. We're in the second quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. Mahomes now on 1st down. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now Mahomes. Robinson's got it. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. So we've come upon halftime here in Arrowhead with the Chiefs on top as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports halftime report. First, though, time for a check of the next-gen stats from that first half for Cincinnati. And they weren't able to get a whole lot done throwing the football. That'll likely be a big key if they want to turn things around in the second half. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, they were even better throwing the football. Lots of open receivers to choose from, and you can bet that'll continue to be a focus in the second half.
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. The Bucs set to get the football first, and they trail here as we get started in the second half. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. And the Bengal offense ready to go here to start the third quarter. And they do trail, but they have a chance to possess the football first to try and do something about it.
And that certainly makes it something of an important drive for them, because is it going to win the game? No, but you have to do something to bring some life to your sideline.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game, 1st and 10 here. Mixon will get it to start the second half. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Burrow will throw. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Burrow looking to pass. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And down he'll go at the 25. Give him 9 yards on the 2nd down screen play.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger game.
An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
From the gun on 3rd down is Burrow. He'll drop this one down to Mixon, and he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at the 20. The drive will begin with a run by Edwards-Helaire. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. Mahomes going to throw. That to his running back, Edwards-Helaire. And they finally take him down, but not before he reaches the 43. A big play there for KC. So that was a very nice play, Charles, from a very speedy cornerback.
And you can just see that whole play developing. That's where, as a defender, you just lock in on your target and say, I'm not even thinking about breaking stride. I'm running straight for the belt buckle, because where it goes, that's where you find his body, and he was able to get in there and make a great play.
And the final clocking on the next-gen stats, look at this, 22.3 miles an hour was his top speed. 1st and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it. And not able to break away this time, as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Working from the gun, Mahomes. A dump down to McKinnon. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Bengals grab it. And nothing but green grass here. Middle of the field. And this is taken into the end zone. A fumble recovery and a Cincinnati touchdown. And a big turning point here in the 2nd half, Charles, after that play.
All you're trying to do is change momentum, flip things around for your team. You're just trying to take the ball away. But how about when you take it away and score? That really changes things.
McPherson on for the point after. He's got it, and it's now a 21-16 lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. And now here comes Kansas City. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. It's complete to Robinson. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Mahomes to throw. To the right side, it's Kelsey. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. A shotgun snap and a give to Edwards-Helaire. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
Second and 11 now. To throw, it's Mahomes. And a quick throw here, that's complete. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
And he will have a Chiefs 1st down as this defense unable to hold. It's a 7-yard gain there on 3rd and 2. So that was all you're looking for on a play like that. Get the 1st down and keep the drive moving.
Yeah, it just looked to me like he just said to himself, I've got this. I'll take it. I'll pick it up, and let's keep moving. Get the 1st down, get a new set, and let's start over.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. Now a swing pass. It's Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short. Now a give. This is McKinnon. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful with it.
Mahomes now on 1st down. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
They've given up a few 1st downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Second and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. Incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here and 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And he comes back with one complete. And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far in this drive, so good. They've moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively. But they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Mahomes going to keep this himself. Showed off the toughness, but still corralled shy of the 5 at the 6. Well, that's what he can do, when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Edwards-Helaire, they'll try to run for it. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
We ought to come up with a T-shirt and sell it that says, no indecision on 3rd and 1. And we didn't see it on that run, did we? Got his shoulder square, just got right into the line of scrimmage and picked it up.
Absolutely. Picked his lane, went with it, and converted. So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. Edwards-Helaire. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. A loss of 2 there. 2nd down.
Definitely not how you want to start things on 1st down, and you don't want to panic. A field goal could get you closer, but you have to think to yourself, we even get another shot. At this point, to me, the thinking has to be touchdown or bust.
Three red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Mahomes hitting his favorite target, Travis Kelce, on a touchdown pass. And the Chiefs are going to jump back in front.
A good tight end is a heck of a weapon for any quarterback, especially when you're able to create some mismatches. Sometimes they work against a linebacker, sometimes they work against a smaller defensive back. But when they find it, they go to it, and it often results in touchdowns.
Now Mahomes to the line as the Chiefs are going to go for the 2-point try. Mahomes will throw for it. Flush to his right. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. So that effort gives him a 3-point cushion and guarantees that a field goal going forward won't beat them.
Yeah, that's really good strategy because that's all you care about. Not getting beat at this stage. At least give your team a fighting chance.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well, incomplete.
A good action to this point in the third quarter. Just a 3-point game. 2nd and 10. Now it's Burrow. Open man is Uzama. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down. I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Let's get set. 180.
Throwing again, it's Burrow. Dumps it off to Mixon. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And he'll be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 42. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
1st down. Here's Burrow, and it's incomplete.
Here we go.
3rd quarter action from Kansas City. 2nd down and 10. Now Burrow. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Higgins. And he'll be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 26.
Well, that certainly has to feel good, and it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice 1st down. Drive keeps moving.
Gun.
On 1st down, Mixon. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. We're back now in KC. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. He finds his running back, Mixon. Touchdown, Bengals! Joe Mixon from 13 yards out. And the Bengals are once again going to retake the lead. Plenty of scoring here of late, and our lead changes hands now in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they just gave up a touchdown the other end, so they knew that with time getting short, they had to put something together here, and they were able to do so and retake the lead right back.
And McPherson on for the extra point. And that will make this a 4-point game. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown. So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. KC's offense ready to take over. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. They'll look to throw here. Fights through him. It's Kelsey on the ground. 7 yards, the pickup there.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
3 yards remain for 2nd down. Now a carry for Edwards-Helaire. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
All over you.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on 3rd down. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Looking underneath, and he finds McKinnon. And he will have a Chiefs 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a 1st down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
On 1st down, Mahomes. He finds McKinnon, complete. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play.
And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38.
Defense all day. Let's get it.
On 3rd down, here's Edwards-Helaire. And he's got the 1st before he's brought down at the 39-yard line.
Brandon, unfortunately, I've been here before. They've had 2 opportunities to stop them, so this is demoralizing. They haven't gotten it done. Now you're calling all your blitzes, all your attack defenses, but you're not worried about playing your normal position. You're going to take chances now.
Well, you said it. 2 third-down opportunities to get off the field. Couldn't do it, and the clock continues to roll. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Mahomes. The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. B.J. Hill picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Another try after the 1st down sack. Mahomes. Caught. Kelsey, left side. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. And incomplete on the deep ball. I want to go back to something you said in the 1st quarter about winning.
Is it a positive?
It is a positive.
Okay.
About winning the turnover battle. As a visiting team, as an underdog, you were right. They've done just that, and look where it's gotten them.
It's part of the formula. When you go on the road, as you mentioned, being an underdog, winning the turnover battle is a big key, and this one's playing out in this one.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a 1-possession game. This one not fully over yet. Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. The drive will commence with a run by Mixon. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand they're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
Back to Mixon on 2nd down. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. That's a gain of 4 here in the 4th quarter with them leading by 4 on the scoreboard. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he'll work this one up to about the 38. 70 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Second and 4. And now they will throw it with Burrow. Out to the left. He's got Sample there.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
A pair of 1st downs gives them a 1st and 10 up at the 44. Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Off the play fake, here's Burrow. And he's taken down, a Chiefs sack. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6.
Well, on that one, they go with the play fake, CD, but I don't think anybody really was fooled. All eyes were fixated on the quarterback, and they got him to the ground.
And to run this play successfully, you've got to make sure that everyone is doing their part. You actually have to sell this play. You've got to sell the run action. Otherwise, why do you stop at the running back? You just run straight for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw.
That is caught. It's Uzama. He stiff arms him. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big play that time on the catch and run.
A very nice job right there, working the middle of the field, able to create some separation and then utilize it to not just make the catch, but turn upfield once he got the ball in his hands.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Burrow looking to pass. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. Touchdown!
Joe Mixon.
His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bengals, they widen their lead.
But that's certainly an important touchdown there. It makes this a 2-score game.
But as we've seen, no lead is safe in this one with the way these two offenses have lit up the scoreboard. I would imagine that on their sidelines, they're both yelling at their defenses, hey, you want to get involved here? One big play from you, that could win the game for us.
McPherson now for the extra point.
And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it ends with a Bengals score.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. And Kansas City's offense now set and ready to go. Yeah, the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try and battle back from a 2-score deficit.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Complete, the tight end Kelsey. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
That was an okay hookup there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Mahomes.
And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Now Mahomes got to have this one. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Boyd. 7 yards, the pickup there.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down. Burrow will throw. He'll get this out to his running back, P-Ryan. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And it'll be 3rd down.
Usually the offense has an answer to anything a defense throws at them, including a safety valve. And that's what they did on that play. They went there, but the defense still made an excellent play and held them to no gain.
Now the Bengals on 3rd down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 3. P-Ryan, draw play. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
They cannot block us. Let go.
Zach Taylor, a new breed of head coach. He's going to go for it on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it with Burrow. Open man is Uzama. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line.
This game has been a lesson, a clinic in how to throw the football. I mean, even with a big lead, they're not turning off the engine. They're not getting off the gas at all. They plan to keep going at them, and it's working for them.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
Let's go.
So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Mixon. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll give it to Mixon, and he is in. Touchdown, Bengals.
Joe Mixon, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Bengals tack on another score as they have dominated this fourth quarter.
So he's in for his third score of the game, and defense probably saying, man, we don't want to see this guy for a long time.
It's bad enough when anyone scores a touchdown against you, but for one person to get 3, it almost sets him apart from the rest of the game, and no one likes to see any of those players on a pedestal, not from the defensive point of view.
McPherson on for the point after.
And the lead is up to 18 now. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it all culminated in the touchdown run coming from Joe Mixon.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
The Chiefs offense now making their way back onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. Open man is Hill. He's got it. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
Throwing on 1st down is Mahomes. Screen play, McKinnon. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Throwing again on 2nd down. Mahomes. And that's incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like in the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Mahomes to throw once more. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They'll go for it. It's Mahomes. He's going to let it fly. And this is caught, that they say, out of bounds. It would have been a 1st down, but he couldn't stay in, and as a result, they're going to have to give up the football. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
The
And now it appears that the referee's been buzzed, and we'll get a review. And this being inside 2 minutes of play, everything coming from up above. Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
Come on now, let's go.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
So the folks in New York just going to wind up confirming what the official saw, as this play will stand as is. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. The Bengals go down to a knee in the victory formation. Second and 11.
Big 13. Big 13.
A handoff to Mixon. And he's got some space here. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.